Like, you have to be honest, man. It's hard. Like, there are times, man, I got pulled over, my wife got pulled over the other night. Most of the cops are cool as fuck. One cop was just a total asshole. Like, he was literally looked like a G.I. Joe figure. Like, you can tell he takes too much pleasure in putting on his jumpsuit, and he's hoping to run after people and chase them and shit, and he has the, G.I. Joe white guy haircut and shit. And it just got to the point where toward the end of our exchange, I just started laughing. Like, look, brother, your police chief, the chief of your police department is my mentor. My father's a former police, my cousin's a current policeman. If you're gonna lock me up, you're just gonna lock me up, brother. But I'm not gonna stand here and incriminate myself, and I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. These other cops have already told me they don't see a reason to further delay me. But I was just so frustrated in that moment because I'm just like, you're a fucking asshole. You're the cop that gives other cops a bad fucking name. But with that said, when I'm with my friends who might be fuck the police all day, I remind them, my old man was a cop. And my old man was a decent cop. And Jasper's dad was a cop. He's a decent cop. My cousin Chris is a decent cop. So I find myself being not the voice of dissension, but the voice of honesty. It's important that you be honest, man. It's important that you be honest about your interactions and your exchange. So I think that's it. There is no cure-all. But the greatest way to apply medicine is just to be honest. Like, this is not going to taste good, but it is going to help. There is no cure-all. There is no cure-all. But being active with people who don't look like you, being active with people who are not culturally from you, being active with people who are not of your religion, is going to be the best serum to change you and to grow you and to change a greater community. At least that's been my experience. Anyone else? Yes, sir. And then yes, ma'am. And then yes, sir.
Thanks for your time, Mike. Just wondering if you could share your thoughts about, in recent years, hip-hop has become stronger presence, I feel, on higher education, college campuses,
yeah.
Working its way into curriculum. And just, I was wondering if you had any thoughts about sort of that development and sort of how that development, if it's something positive, or how do you see it working?
That's what was supposed to happen. There's going to be a movie called Rumble Kings that comes out that's about the gangs in the South Bronx that in the early 70s formed a peace treaty. Out of that peace treaty came the park jams. Out of those park jams came hip-hop. Out of hip-hop became probably the greatest cultural connector of my lifetime. Hip-hop's only 42 years old. 1973, November 11th, I think is the official date. Is it? So it's very young still. So if you look at it, hip-hop is now, probably the professors are supposed to have grown up on hip-hop. The students have supposed to grow up on hip-hop. Now hip-hop is supposed to be the teaching tool. What I don't like about teaching hip-hop is teaching it from, these are the songs today going backwards. Hip-hop should be taught from, this is hip-hop forward. And hip-hop started as an alternative to violence. It started as an extension of black nationalism and civil rights. It started as an extension of Puerto Rican nationalism and rights. It started as an extension of poor white people asserting their rights in New York together. And if we don't start the story of that hip-hop essentially was combating poverty through art, if we don't start the story there, then all we end up is an endless debate on who's more relevant, Wu-Tang or Drake. And that's a dumb debate. What we should be seeing about hip-hop is that from the time hip-hop started, the people that were involved looked more like the people in this room and less like a homogenous group of people that all look the same. You got what I mean?
Yep.
So that's the only thing I would alter about how hip-hop is taught. Hip-hop should be taught from the beginning up, not from here back. And the way you do that is, we should have studies on Kool Herc, on Bambaataa. We should be talking about what were the gangs that did the peace treaty. We should be talking about why was the peace treaty had. Why did the peace treaty work on the East Coast and not on the West Coast? How has this music evolved the community? Why was hip hop so effective in the 80s in bringing kids who didn't look like each other together? Because everybody was on the outside. BMX, skateboarding, punk, and hip hop were all on the outside. So we all had to party together. No clubs would have hip hop or punk, so in Atlanta they all had to be in the Metroplex together. So I'd stand around with my cousin underage, watch a punk show, be like, oh my fucking God, and then wait for the hip hop show. But if you watch me perform, you are watching a punk performance. I'm running around stage, I'm in people's faces, I'm jumping in the crowd because I saw punk performances. You get what I mean? So that's what we should be doing in hip hop. We should be reminding people that hip hop started didn't start just with these people and then it gave it to the world. You know, true, most of the guys were black, most of the kids were black, but that doesn't wipe away the Puerto Rican experience. That doesn't wipe away the white experience. And if we're not telling the story like that going forward, we start to play the cultural appropriation game. Well, who belongs in hip hop? Does Iggy belong? Does Azalea belong? That's not the game I'm looking forward to. You know, I care if your shit is dope. That's what I give a fuck about. Everlast was dope. Like straight the fuck up. You know what I mean? Vanilla Ice was. Had a dope song, but he wasn't dope. Yes, ma'am.
I'd love to know why you were interested in speaking at MIT specifically, and what you think of what you see on campus.
Well, I believe in smart people. I want to say that. I believe in smart people. And older homie of mine who's now is a city councilman, Kwanzaa Hall, I think he's going to end up being mayor of Atlanta. He went to MIT. And I remember being impressed. It's like, oh shit, Kwanzaa got an MIT, you know what I mean? And that made me work hard to get my ass in Morehouse. But I wanted to be here, and the only reason I'm running around speaking at colleges and not speaking after I have a book to haul is because I believe that you all are intelligent. And I believe that people are asking dumb people to pick a side. That doesn't mean you're dumb bad, that means you may be ignorant. And if you're ignorant and you're white and you're listening to talk radio and someone says, hey, I like the Braves, I like the Braves. Hey, I live in Cobb County, I live in Cobb County. Hey man, black people got too much shit for free. That's when you're like, hold up, bro. Hold up. Then you know how they sneak that shit in. You know, like, yeah, man, you like baseball. Yeah, you hate black people. Yeah, you're my kind of guy. Like, I believe that intelligent people are too quiet. I believe we aren't brave enough. I believe we aren't screaming at the top of our lungs. And I believe we don't have the courage a lot of times to say, that's stupid. You know, so I want to walk around and talk to people and let people know that I believe that you're intelligent enough to change things. I don't believe the current powers that be are going to change shit. I know they're smart enough to. I don't think they care to. It is my hope that I embody the possibility of growth because I have grown. I've grown past a lot of my own bigotry, a lot of my own sexism, a lot of my own thoughts of how I think the world should be. And it's because I've allowed myself to be touched and to be affected by people who don't look like me. And I'm hoping that the intelligent people that I'm speaking to today will take this message and thoughts that they have into the world, connect with other intelligent people, and just give us an alternative to the current reality we have. In the current reality we have, we're always asked to pick a side. Every time we turn on the radio or TV, we're asked to pick a side. And the world just doesn't work like that. You know, it just doesn't work. There is no winning team. If all of humanity can't eat, everybody's starving. You know, everyone is starving. We have enough food to feed everybody, yet we're always trying to figure out how to feed everybody. You know, at some point you just feed everybody. You know, my grandmother had 10 children in her house every day. She had me and my 2 sisters, my 3 cousins, that's 6, right? She had our other cousin, that's 7, and then just any 3 random friends would come over. Now, my grandmother never knew how much food to cook, but she knew I got to cook in a big pot because I'm going to have 6 to 10 children here every single day. So if 7 children popped up and there were 7 chicken wings, everybody got a chicken wing that day. But if your 3 other friends come up, then grandma went to chopping the chicken wings up. So you know you had less of a chicken wing, but everyone got to eat. You know what I mean? There's enough for everyone. There's enough intelligence in this room to do something different in this community that are going to affect children who grow up in a lower class in this community to one day be able to come to this institution and to radically change their community. But that only happens if people like me engage with people like you, you know? And I'm going to do this until you guys say you don't want me anymore, because I believe that intelligent people can bring intelligent things to our community to progress our community on behalf of us all. That's why I'm here today. And not at, you know, a lodge meeting with the homies.
Could you speak more about the intersection of like rap and politics and how that space for innovation is there to change youth apathy towards politics?
Yeah, hip-hop is a political movement of sorts. Again, it is an artistic alternative to street violence. It is also a social justice machine. Hip-hop demanded, you know, even before there was a sit-in or even before there was a Occupy, hip-hop was already occupying the park. They were stealing power from a light. They were providing 4 to 6 hours of kids being able to party safe and not be killed, and then kids got to go home safely. You know, sometimes a little money got made, sometimes not. I think that hip-hop and politics can be joined in where they go, because hip-hop has always been able to talk from hip-hop is probably the only American music where damn near every artist has said something, has made a social statement on record. I don't give a damn if you're talking about Yin Yang Twins to Eminem. They have all said something that mattered outside of them socially. And I think hip-hop has the ability to start affecting local politics in the immediate. my man Che Smith, Rhinefest in Chicago. He almost won that election. I think he's actually smart enough to be an alderman, and I think he should run for re-election again. I would like to see Tracy Lee, who used to be, I forgot what song he used to have. He
Party
left
Time?
hip-hop, went and became, which one?
Party time.
Party Time. Brother went and became a lawyer in D.C. He's now written a book. He has an understanding of the culture of hip hop. He now has a degree. He's now an official lawyer. I'm looking for him to do something big socially to connect the two, because they got disconnected when rap started making a lot of money. When rap wasn't making a lot of money, nobody gave a damn. The same people that were doing protests were the same people putting out records. You know, BDP, X-Clan, Luke and the Two Live Crew were my political heroes in Atlanta. Why was Luke and the Two Live Crew your political heroes? Because I saw him fight Broward County for the ability for me to say whatever I wanted to say. They were about to go to federal prison for what I think it was obscenity. The legal clerk or an assistant in the office of Thurgood Marshall saw the case, picked it up, went to Broward County and fought the case. That woman is now Supreme Court Justice. And it's not, I forget her damn name. Was a Jewish lady. She just got put on about 2 years ago. Yeah, she's a Supreme Court Justice. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Kagan?
Yeah, that's her. She picked up Luke's case. You know, I can remember them getting off the plane in Atlanta and being questioned about it. And it was as a kid, it was one of the most brilliant things I'd ever seen. They were asking Luke about obscenity and pornography, and was he afraid going into the court case? And Brother Marquise pulled up a Playboy magazine and put it in front of the camera. And at that time, I remember as a kid thinking to myself, why are my dad's Playboys legal, but my Luke record isn't? And that was one of the things that started me to say, this shit ain't fair, and I'm gonna fight for fair, you know, for the rest of my life. So until I'm an old man shaking, I'll probably buy Playboy and fight for rappers to have the ability to put new girls in their videos.
Last question, we really gotta go.
Yes, sir.
Kind of back to your point about how the police and politicians need to reflect the population, and you need to encourage